Good evening, happy Friday. Welcome to the Trey Olds Radio Show. I'm Trey Olds. Today my special guest is actor Mr. Muse Watson. Join us in a minute. Thank you.
I'm doing okay. My little girl's sick today, and I'm trying to take care of her. She's off from school, and I'm trying to take care of her, but I think I'm doing okay.
Okay. Are you ready to get started for the interview?
Anytime.
Okay. My first question is, how did you get started in acting? How did you become an actor?
Well, I had done some things when I was like in grammar school or something. I did one little role that the teacher gave to me, and I didn't particularly care for it. But when I got to Berea College in Berea, Kentucky, I decided to audition, and I got a leading role in a Shakespearean play called, what am I trying? My dementia brain's sitting in now. Petruchio and Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, okay.
And that was my first time on stage, and oh my Lord, to do a lead role in a Shakespearean thing, first time on stage, it was something. But I was smitten, and I just wanted to do it ever since then. And of course, I did go and do other things. I did stunts for the movie industry. I drove trucks for the movie industry. I was transportation coordinator, and then I made the switch over to camera and started roles. But I didn't get to Hollywood till '94, and I was 40-something years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's all been kind of recent.
Yeah. But it must be interesting because to go from, you started in the theater, right, stage, and to go from television, that must have been a big transition, but an interesting one, I bet.
It was very interesting, and it took a lot of study. I compare the two to people talking about water skiing and snow skiing.
Yeah.
You can call them both skiing if you want to, but they're a bunch different.
Yeah.
And so it's quite a bit different. And I studied the camera lenses and camera angles so that I would know what to do with my face at what point. You could be standing 200 yards away from a camera and think that you could do anything you wanted to, and when you realize that they're on like a 200 lens, then hey, they're seeing your nose hair, So
Yeah.
you got to know what lens they're on, and you got to know the lighting and all these kinds of things. But it's quite a study.
Yeah.
I recommend that any actor that wants to get into business get a book called The 5 C's of Cinematography. Actors are interested in the crew and the director collaborating with them. Mm-hmm. But my point is, how can you collaborate with somebody if you don't know what they're doing?
Yeah.
And so I think actors should study cameras and camera lenses and lighting and, all those things so that they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Because you have to collaborate with the others or you don't get the project done. You have to collaborate with everybody on set.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, you collaborate with makeup and hair, with wardrobe, with everybody. And it has to be a team effort to, for you to describe what you feel like the character should do. Well, the DP's got a way to show that you might not have thought of, and the director may have a correction to it. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah. What is the most difficult part of being an actor? The most difficult or challenging part about being an actor?
I don't know. My first thought would have been to let some evil person take over your body is challenging. But I guess to me, the most challenging part about it is that you know what you do, you know what you got to do, and you know where you got to get your head to do that. So to me, the most difficult part about it is you're there's something that goes on in your life, like, I mean, you're in trouble if you're shooting a movie and you have a death in the family.
Yeah.
Or your daughter has some sort of thing that you ought to go to. It's to live a normal life as an actor is just almost impossible.
Yeah, that is tough, because with acting, basically, you're kind of living another life, because you have
That's
your
correct.
personal life and professional life.
Yes, that's correct. And you've got to keep them separate. I mean, there are 5 characters that I have played that my wife says are not welcome in our home. So, and I know which ones they are. She's not into killing people.
Me neither, but I've done stage acting, and I've done some voice acting, and I like playing diverse characters. I'm more playing bad guys. I like doing the villains, I guess, because you get more material with that.
Yeah, and it can be quite challenging, when I played the killer, and I know what you did last summer.
Oh yeah.
It kind of scared me to death to conjure that guy. I was just wondering if I loaned him my body, would I ever get it back? And it's kind of scary. So one night I was conjuring that character, and I got the impression that he was laughing at me. And so I asked him why he was laughing at me, and he said, because you're sitting here trying to work yourself up to the point where you'd kill somebody. And it's not that way for me. For me, I'm a psychopath. So for me, it's like drinking a cup of coffee. It's nothing. It's nothing to me. Well, then I gave myself one of the best acting lessons I ever gave myself, and that was to say to myself, if you want to play this guy and play him accurately, then don't conjure him to take over your body. Go out there and do nothing except the action. And I would go out there cold, thinking about what I was going to have for lunch, and I'd grab the hook and I'd whack somebody's head off. and when the movie came out, everybody came to me and said, "You're the most evil man I've ever met in my life." So it worked. And I didn't take my head there. I didn't prepare myself to kill those people. I did it just as a piece of the action, and because of that, I appeared to be a psychopath.
Yeah. It's interesting, because when you have to become that character in order to portray that character, you have to prepare yourself to become that character.
That's correct. The other thing that I'm a little disappointed in my profession for is that we don't teach actors. We teach actors how to act, and we work on characterization, and we worked on all these different modes and methods of portraying someone else. What we don't teach actors is how to get out of character. And a lot of times when there are people taking their life in Hollywood, I'll say, what was the last role they did? And somebody will look at me and they'll go, well, that's a cold thing to ask. Why are you asking that? And I said, just tell me. And they'll say, Dracula. And I go, oh my God. Oh my God. He never got out of character.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. I mean, we really need to. I have processes that relate to me, but they probably wouldn't relate to other actors. But every actor needs to figure out a way for himself personally to get out of character, because it's dangerous.
Yeah, and it's hard sometimes to get out of character.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have several little things that I do, and little rituals and whatnot, and they so far they've seemed to work. And to me, so many actors get into this business because they don't particularly care for who they are, and they want to become someone else. What you find out, and a lot of us did that, but what you find out after you tried to study and be a professional actor is that you cannot become someone else without knowing yourself really well.
Yeah.
You can't change the way you walk unless you have an ID on how you normally walk. And so that's also another thing that we really need to study.
Yeah. It's interesting because when you're an actor or in entertainment business, all you learn and you study. You have to study. One of the best pieces of advice I got was to be an actor is to study people. Watch how people talk. Watch how people move. Watch.
Yes. Yep. I've been doing that all my life.
Yeah.
I come from a family of storytellers, and they would get up and they would become those other people, and I watched them, and I watched the changes that they made in just the way they talked. And, I'm not against me bringing things from myself. I'm not against that. I think it's all part of it. And I think I'm cast because there's something in me that reminds them. So there's some things that you can use of your own, but particularly you need to do that a lot of times when there's a lot of technical things involved. And the hook was such a terrible thing to try to kill somebody with. It was not a good weapon. You couldn't really get the edge of it into them right when you hit them with it. You'd done better beating them to death with it than trying to hook them. But so in cases like that, to make it look right, there were times when I had to move my body as a contortionist to get the hook to look right in camera. Mm-hmm. And so, at times like that, when the performances includes a lot of technical aspects, then hey, you gotta deal with that in a different way than just being somebody else.
Yeah. One of my favorite roles you ever did was the character in NCIS. That was one of my favorites. And
well, I enjoyed playing him. That was a good character, and I was hoping toward the end that I could allow him to grow and become a better father and a better husband, and those kinds of things. He was kind of devoted to his work, and that's all. And I was hoping to show with the grandbaby. I was hoping to show a little bit of growth on his part, but I died before I could get that completed.
Yeah, they killed the character off. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they realized that it was a mistake, and then they tried to bring me back as a ghost. And I don't know, Mike Frank's character as a ghost just don't work.
No.
And the producers asked me one time. They said, "How do you like being a ghost?" And I said, "I don't." And they said, "Why?" And I said, "Because I don't get to shoot nobody." Oh, man. So, how about Prison Break? Did you like that guy?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a little different. And I pretty much had to decide when I did him whether I was going to be D.B. Cooper and lie about it, or whether I was not going to be D.B. Cooper and let them think whatever they wanted to. And I decided to play him as D.B. Cooper and him be D.B. Cooper but lying about it. And I started studying D.B. to try to conjure that character, and I just fell in love with a guy who he hijacks an airplane, and then he tips both the stewardesses $1,000 apiece. Doesn't that tell you something about who he is?
Yeah.
I really like that guy. And, still a mystery to this day.
Yeah. Prison Break was a good show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming projects in acting? Do you have any upcoming projects you can share?